He's got a beautiful new movie out called Gifted. He plays a single man raising his young niece who turns out to have some incredible mathematic abilities. In other words, she could work straight out of the Ted Wells report. I think she could figure out that whole science. Chris Evans joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show. Right, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
So would the young niece in this movie be able to figure out the science on PSIs and footballs, Chris? What do you think?
I don't think anybody can figure that out. I don't care if you're gifted. And you know what? I don't think we need to. I think we can all just let that one go to bed. I think based on this year, after Deflategate, after all the Patriot haters who just can't find enough things to point to, look what we did this year. Look what we did this year. What can you possibly say now? What can they possibly come up with now?
Well, it's interesting. I know you're shooting a movie in Atlanta, so you perhaps did not see Belichick on CNBC of all places today. When he was asked in a word association game between him and his interviewer, Deflategate, he just said one word, ridiculous, is what he said.
Good. I bet he said it with a real monotone voice.
No, it's actually went higher register. It was really odd. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
You were at the game, correct? Were you at the game this year?
Oh, yeah. Best game I've ever seen. Probably the best game any of you have ever seen either. Has there been a better Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, obviously the overtime was intense. And, well, let's put it this way. It was the best game to materialize out of no game at all that I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Well, from just a disaster to evolve into truly the heroics, the what was at stake as well. You know what I mean? Like not just to have any old team come back from that kind of deficit in an overtime victory, but based on what the Patriots had gone through that season, based on what they had to, potentially kind of stare down if they lost, how that would just it would have stung deeper than any other Super Bowl loss.
No kidding.
Could have.
Well, I mean, I know you narrated the America's game on the 2014 New England Patriots for NFL Films and NFL Network, and you could make a case that was a better game, right? I mean, just in terms of the give and take and how close it was throughout. But
which one? You said the Seahawks game?
Yeah,
or
that
the
game.
Atlanta game?
No, the Seahawks, the 2014 season.
That's tough, because I said going into the Atlanta game, I said, you know what, I just want a blowout. I don't care about suspense. I want the Patriots just to wax them. I don't want to have my heart pounding the whole game. I just want to win. It matters too much. And then we obviously had the first half we did, and, you feel the lowest of the lows. But for them to come back the way they did, now I get to walk around with that memory. It's worth it. And even though that Seahawks game was a little more evenly matched, probably a little more at least entertaining in the first half, to have that roller coaster in my memory bank, to have that roller coaster go in the pages of football history is so much more special than kind of a more balanced, even Super Bowl outing.
Well, and also, too, I said it the day after that it ended the argument, if anybody still wanted to have it, about Brady being the best of all time, to come up with the most prolific passing performance in the history of that game, to win that game with the biggest comeback in the history of that game, to do it in the season in which he missed the first 4 games of it because of everything that we just discussed. I mean, that's to get the most wins in the history of the game for a quarterback. That's open and shut as far as I'm concerned.
Unbelievable. And without Gronk. Without Gronk. I mean, and truly, without any real marquee wide receivers to speak of at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's what the Patriots do. They don't just get a bunch of superstar players. They get the right players who play the right way. And it works. It's a system that's proven. And you know what? Anyone who may still be a Tom Brady doubter, I got news for you. We may go get another one this year. I mean, can you? Who is the favorite? Look at her squad. This is the most talent the Patriots have had in years.
Well, I mean, because they did go out and get. I'm with Chris Evans here on the Rich Eisen Show. They did go out and get Brandon Cooks, who you could say is, obviously
that's a deep threat.
Well,
that is a deep threat.
Right.
We haven't had that in a while.
Well, Moss, you could say Randy Moss, and I know I'm comparing apples and oranges here. I know I got a first ballot Hall of Famer in my mind, what I'm talking about here. But most of their receivers have done the damage from the slot, and Edelman, obviously, and Welker.
Yep.
But Brandon Cooks, let's put it this way. I mean, for 2 quarterbacks who are pushing 40, Brady and Breeze, I'm sure Breeze would like to have Cooks back.
Oh, are you kidding me? Absolutely. Just, if nothing else, just to spread the field. Who knows if Brady's arm can still get it there in those deep routes, but you're going to have to respect it. You're going to have to spread out, and that's when Brady picks you apart. And we're stacking up on the defensive side, too, just getting Hightower back. As soon as we got him back, I'm like, we're good. We're good. I mean, I'm hoping we can hang on to Butler. I'd love to keep him. But even Gilmore, this guy is going to fit in perfectly. Everything I've read about him, just the way, his mentality. He's a Belichick guy. He doesn't have an ego. He just wants to win. He just wants to do his job. And that's what the Patriots do. They find these players that are good, and they make them great.
Well, I mean, the Raiders, we were talking about this earlier. If Marshawn Lynch comes out of retirement and joins the Raiders, that might be a game-on situation in the AFC, Chris.
That'd be a lot of fun, and I welcome it. I mean, it's almost been a little too easy over here in the AFC. We just kind of bulldoze right through. We got to wait for the NFC to give us some challenges. So I wouldn't mind
Chris.
A little AFC challenge.
Oh, my word.
Come on, what do we have? What have we done since, it's just been an embarrassment of riches. Most postseason touchdowns, most postseason yards.
Wow.
It's really.
You are feeling it right now, man. And
man. It's a good time to be alive. Good time to be a Patriots fan. I tell you what.
I don't know. You might want to keep your voice down. Aren't you in Atlanta right now?
I know. Trust me. I don't exactly walk around in Patriots gear out here.
Yeah.
You get jumped real quick.
And your movie Gifted has Octavia Spencer part of the cast. She was on Twitter going crazy about the Falcons too during that Super Bowl.
She was. Well, there's a lesson in talking too soon. Believe me, I've had to kind of I've been to 2 Super Bowls that we've lost after I talked a lot of trash. So I know what it feels like to kind of write checks your mouth can't cash. What is that the expression? I really tank that.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you're cashing checks that you've written with your mouth.
Yes, close enough.
Yes, you have.
Either way, I've had to eat my words. Put it that way. But yeah. It's for now in the off season after that Super Bowl. I'm going to do my trash talk.
Right.
I'm going to do it.
Why not? It's a beautiful movie you're in with Gifted, Chris. Obviously, those who know you as Captain America, this is a completely different story and obviously a completely different type of film that you're in.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It is a touching little film. It really is. I mean, anyone who's a parent is going to connect to it. And, I'm not going to lie. I cried a little bit. Got a little dusty. You
can get some dust.
Yeah.
You get dusty in there.
Dust in the eye.
Yeah, about this beautiful little girl who's got some incredible math skills and obviously the drama that unfolds when there's a custody battle involved. It's a neat movie, Chris. So congrats on that one.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
You bet. How many fantasy teams are you in during the season?
This year I only did one. Last year I've done years where I've been in 3 or 4, and then after the 4th week you get kind of you're 0-4 and you just kind of stop caring about certain leagues. It's much more fun just to have one league and dedicate all your focus to it.
So whose league is that you're in? Who's that one?
I got a bunch of active buddies, and guess who won? The guy you're talking to. You know why? Because I took TV in the 3rd round, and I got a lot of grief for it from everybody in the league. And what did this guy do in week 4? Just kick the doors down. He was putting up at least 25 points every week for me. It was a killing.
And then TB, as you mentioned, Tom Brady, TB12 he texts Isaiah Thomas after that Super Bowl, "You're next." And now here the Celtics are the 1 seed, great. Chris.
I tell you what, I was born in 81. So right around my sports peak of really caring and being able to enjoy these games and, your late teens, early 20s.
Sure.
From 2000 on, look what we've done. I've seen championships in every single sport. It's really, not to brag. I know that I had nothing to do with it, but I know how personal people take
Chris.
it. When your teams aren't doing well and someone else gets to sit there and laugh and joke about having rings, it's frustrating, but too bad, guys.
No, look, Chris, that's one of the many things I love about talking to you and talking sports with you, Chris, is that no matter how successful you are, no matter how Tinseltown you go, you still know the sports fan lexicon and parlance of saying not to brag when you start to brag. That's really impressive.
You
absolutely mean to brag. When you start a sentence not to brag, it doesn't inoculate you from the bragging.
But I'm going to rub your nose in this one. Yeah, exactly. You got to, because you know what? It won't always be like this. So I'm going to get it in while I can.
All right,
I'll end up being that 60-year-old guy who will still be talking about this decade.
I love it. Well, again, congrats on Gifted. Released nationwide just yesterday, now playing in theaters everywhere, starring Chris Evans. I'll have you back on whenever you want, brother. Just let me know when you're in Los Angeles.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care. That's Chris Evans, at Chris Evans.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.